Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into one of the most wildly popular kitchen gadgets on the market right now, the OXO Good Grips Easy Pour Vegetable Chopper. We're going to take a really close look at the bold claims, the actual mechanics, and, the everyday realities of using this thing. We need to figure out if it truly deserves a permanent spot on your precious kitchen counter space.
Just look at that number. Over 5,000. That is the staggering amount of these choppers bought in just the past month alone. That's thousands of home cooks out there hoping to finally ditch their trusty cutting boards and chef's knives to make bulk dicing an absolute breeze. Especially for those tedious ingredients, right? The onions, the peppers, the celery, the potatoes.
So is it actually worth the hype? With so many of these units flying off the virtual shelves, we really need to uncover the reality behind those massive sales numbers. Does this gadget genuinely live up to the promise of saving you time and effort, or is it just destined to gather dust in the back of a cabinet somewhere? Well, let's break it all down.
Section 1. Where it truly shines. Let's look at the genuinely clever engineering that makes this tool stand out from the pack. Now, if you've ever used older competitor models, you absolutely know the frustration. You chop your veggies, and then you have to wrestle the entire top lid off just to empty the container. It's a hassle. But OXO actually bypassed this entirely. They engineered a really clever hollow opening at the back of the base. You literally don't need to take anything apart. You just pick up the chopper, tip it back, and pour your freshly diced veggies straight into your hot pan. It is a completely seamless workflow.
And here's where we see a major culinary advantage. This chopper creates identical, medium-sized square dices every single time. Now, it's easy to think it just makes your food look pretty and professional, which it does, but the true benefit is actually scientific. Perfectly uniform pieces mean your food is going to cook evenly at the exact same rate in the pan, so no more ending up with some potato chunks turning into mush while the others are still crunchy in the middle.
Okay, another massive win is how it handles the aftermath. Let's be real. Historically, the absolute worst part of these grid-style choppers is cleaning those plastic teeth on the lid where the food always gets jammed. But OXO included this genius removable silicone grid mat. When you're done, you just pull the mat off and it instantly lifts all that trapped veggie debris out with it. Plus, true to the Good Grips name, there's a really sturdy, non-slip rubber ring on the base. So when you press down, it stays securely anchored to your counter instead of dangerously sliding away from you. Oh, and the whole thing disassembles easily and goes straight into the dishwasher.
Section 2. The harsh reality check. Because before you toss your expensive knives in the trash, we have to talk about the physical realities of actually using this tool on a daily basis.
This brings us to what I call the prep illusion. There's this common misconception that you can just take a whole round onion or potato, throw it on the grid, and smash it down. Yet you absolutely cannot. The actual cutting area is only about 3 by 3 inches. That means you still have to use your chef's knife first. You have to quarter an onion, slice a potato, or cut a bell pepper into flat panels before they'll even fit onto the blade.
Then there's the brute force breakdown. The amount of physical effort you actually need completely depends on what you're chopping. So, soft or crisp vegetables like onions, bell peppers, zucchini, or celery, those will push through the grid with a nice smooth press. But hard produce, think raw carrots, sweet potatoes, or apples, those demand a very aggressive, swift smack to push through. If you just press down slowly on a sweet potato, that blade is going to get stubbornly stuck halfway, every time.
You also have to accept a pretty significant lack of versatility when it comes to size. This chopper features a built-in stainless steel grid blade that yields roughly a ½ inch dice. And that blade is fixed. It is not interchangeable. So if your recipe calls for a super fine garlic mince, or maybe massive chunks of vegetables for a rustic roast, this device simply can't do it. You are locked into that single ½ inch dimension.
Oh, and there's a very strict technique you have to follow, which we define here as the skin up rule. When you're working with soft skin-on produce like a tomato or even an apple, orientation really matters. You always have to place the flesh side facing down against the blades and the skin side facing up. If you try to ignore this rule and put the skin side down, the blades often struggle to pierce the skin cleanly. Instead, they'll just violently crush and bruise your food, which is definitely not what you want.
Section 3. The final verdict. Let's weigh that brilliant engineering against the brute force realities and figure out exactly who should hit add to cart and who should probably walk away.
So, this gadget is a resounding yes if you are a bulk meal prepper. If you make massive batches of soups, stews, salsas, or home fries, this is going to save you immense time and keep your eyes from watering. It's also an absolute, undeniable lifesaver for anyone dealing with hand fatigue, arthritis, or neuropathy.
But you should definitely skip it if you're a solo cook just throwing together a quick meal for one. Honestly, by the time you do the required knife prep, set up the machine, and clean the parts, it might actually take you longer than just doing the whole job with a traditional chef's knife.
Ultimately, evaluating this tool really comes down to your personal culinary lifestyle. So I'm going to leave you with this one final question to ponder as you think about your own kitchen setup. Does the massive time saved on your bulk meal prep truly outweigh the precious kitchen counter space this gadget demands? It's a classic trade-off of efficiency versus real estate, and only you know the right answer for your home. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.